The Orlando Magic just made the dumbest trade of all time, and it is not debatable. They just sent off 4 first-round picks unprotected, 1 first-round pick swap, Cole Anthony, and KCP, which is just a salary dump, for Desmond Bane. You would think this was for Luka Doncic. Kevin Durant's old, but even for Kevin Durant, it's still somewhat understandable. But for Desmond Bane, look, he had a good 2024. There's no doubt about that. Is he worth this? This kind of trade, especially where Desmond Bane has already been paid. A rookie, a Victor Wembanyama where he's not getting paid that much is worth even more because of the cap relief. For Desmond Bane, a guy that is paid up to his worth, he's getting paid $40 million per year. It's like 4.5 first-round picks and Cole Anthony. It's a steep price. This is the price you pay for a top 3 scorer. And I understand he scored a lot of points per game last year. A top 3 scorer both in points per game and efficiency. A passer, a 3-point shooter, a finisher, someone that can get to the foul line consistently year over year and stays healthy. Look, the main issue with this is it's one thing if you traded for Desmond Bane and it was a different situation, like maybe the Warriors and the cap situation would be tough. But Desmond Bane, you could argue adding in another guy that would relieve some tension off Steph, push Jimmy Butler to the third option, Draymond to the fourth. That's something that's like, okay, maybe sacrifice the future for it. This is the lineup for the next 4 seasons. They are well into the second apron for 2026, 2027, 2028. So they are going to be paying in the luxury tax every single year. They're going to be not going to be able to trade any first-round picks. They don't have any. They're not going to be able to trade any of these guys in general, depending on the salaries, because you're in the second apron. So you were running the lineup of Bane, Wagner, Suggs, Banchero, Isaac, and Wagner. That's the lineup. That is it. That's your lineup for the next 4 years. There's no flexibility. You really can't move off any of these guys. And it just gets worse. It really just gets worse. Usually when teams fail, they can trade a first-round pick. They can stock up on picks. They can move a player. This roster is strapped. And in some circumstances, that's okay. It's okay to have limited roster flexibility if you have proven that you are a championship contender and you're one move away. You lose in the finals and you're like, we need that one guy. Then it's like, okay, makes sense. This team, the Orlando Magic, who were the 7th seed in the play-in, they went 41-41 in the East, which, in all honesty, makes them a below-average team. Next season, are they better than the Cavs with Bane? Nope. Boston, with no Tatum, with Horford retiring, with Porzingis out, probably. But even Derek White and Jaylen Brown, I'm not totally sold that the Magic are better than the Celtics. They're not better than the Knicks. They're not better than the Pacers. Those 3 teams, the Cavs, Knicks, Pacers, are a full 2 tiers above. And when I say 2 tiers, if the Magic were to play any of these teams in the playoffs, it's a 4-0 or best case scenario 4-1 gentleman's sweep. These teams are not, it's not possible for the Magic to beat them, barring a huge injury. Celtics would be a series. I'd lean Magic. Milwaukee, if they lose Giannis, the Magic would probably beat them in a series. Pistons Magic is tough. That's a 50-50 series. The Heat, they would beat. Hawks, they would beat. Really, the only team left on here is the Sixers. The Sixers with Embiid and Maxey and McCain and George, I think they'd give the Magic a run for their money if Embiid's healthy. But best case scenario, if Embiid can't stay healthy, if the Celtics are just, they can't keep up with just Brown and Derek White, the Bucks trade off, and you beat the Pistons, you're the 4 seed. That is the best case scenario for the Orlando Magic, are the 4 seed. So you win one playoff round and you lose in the second or that's legitimately the best case scenario, is you can make it to a second round against the Cleveland Cavaliers and lose in 5. Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome. Now back to this Magic team. They've got young talent, Wagner, They have Suggs. They've got Banchero. They got Isaac. I mean, this is a young team. These guys are all under 30. They are paying them a lot, which is unfortunate. But the East, it's relatively weak. It's substantially weak compared to the West. The Magic are in a tough situation because you might say, okay, well, you're not going to go all in with Bane. What do you do? And that is a good question. Personally, I would probably do a soft rebuild. I think you're still a good with or without Bane. I still think you're a good 2 years minimum out. You need to Banchero to develop more. You need to hit on a first round pick. You would need a few things to go right for you to compete to make this splash move. Now, some other teams who have made big splash moves and traded all these picks, the most notable one that I think is similar to this is the young, up-and-coming, and they're not so young anymore, but up-and-coming Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns trade for Rudy Gobert. 4 first-round picks, a pick swap. Well, it's really 5 because I believe this. I don't think they sent Walker Kessler. I think they sent the pick, and they took. So 5 first-round picks plus a pick swap. These other players aren't super important to the trade. For Rudy Gobert. And the Timberwolves are a good team, don't get me wrong. And Gobert has been a good player. But 5 first-round picks plus a pick swap plus 4 other role players. Is Gobert turning into prime Wilt Chamberlain? I mean, seriously, all these picks... And they haven't even, 2 of these picks are in the future. They're not even, we're 4 years out of this trade and they're still giving up picks for this. The issue is, think about what the Wolves with Cat, with Anthony Edwards, what big move they could make with all those first-round picks, or what big player they could have drafted with these first-round picks. Imagine if you had all this draft capital. I know 2023 has already happened, but you have these picks. You've got these 4 picks, and you could go out and get a Booker or a KD, and they could still trade for KD. It's going to be tough. The package they're going to give up isn't going to be great. But this is the issue. A young team, and you go all in too early. And I think the Timberwolves were in a better position to go all in than the Magic are right now. The Timberwolves have gotten close. Are the Magic going to get to 2 back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals? I don't think so. The Timberwolves have something to show for it, but that's a move you don't make. Now, another big move, this one is more understandable. The Suns got KD and TJ Warren. Now, they gave up 4 first-round picks in 2 seconds. Actually, picks, yeah. So 4 first-round picks, a pick swap, 2 seconds. They gave up Miles Bridges in the process, which if they didn't give him up, this would be, probably an even trade, KD for all these picks. Miles Bridges at this point is probably more valuable than KD just because of his youth. But overall, it's obvious Nets win. What they were able to get from the Knicks for Miles Bridges and what they have from the Suns, which the Suns have been a pretty bad team as of late. The thing with this trade, though, is where Kevin Durant is such an elite player, and, he's getting up there in age, so you might not be able to get all this back, but the Suns are likely going to trade him this offseason, and they will probably recoup 2 or 3 first-round picks and a player. If Desmond Bane was the caliber of Kevin Durant, where you can trade 4 first-round picks and a role player for him, and then, you get 2-year window, it doesn't work out, it's not looking like it's going to work out, and then you just recycle and then get 75% of that back, that's one thing. This Magic team is not winning a championship. It's not even going to be close, if I'm being honest. And as a Magic fan, you're going to get used to being the 4 seed, the 5 seed, the 6 seed, the 8 seed. No draft picks. So even if you do stink, you don't have any draft picks. And no trades. I believe this trade is the trade that broke the camel's back. I think this ended the Magic's chance at winning a championship. Now, was it great? No. I would prefer to have that youth, to build around that core, to have those picks, to have that flexibility to an extent. Now, you are still going to be over the cap regardless, but this team is going to be the most expensive in the NBA with no picks. And it's just, you cement yourself as a mediocre, a slightly above average team. That is what you cement yourself as.